Good morning, Santa Clarita, and welcome in. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVI, and I lead schools, Eye on the Valley. This is Sara McDaniels today here with Renee Marshall, and we will be your hosts for Eye on the Valley today. I'm sure your regular listeners are a little confused not to hear Matt Watson's voice over the airwaves right now, and I wish we could say that he is on vacation, some wonderful place, but nope, the guy works harder than anyone I know. And this week, Matt and his team have been providing some wonderful professional learning opportunities for all our staff at SCBI and I Lead Schools, and the man just can't be in two places at once, so I'm here. I'm stepping out of my usual role in the shadows, supporting Matt with the show. And today I will be with you for the next 2 hours. And because Matt's such a fantastic host and leaves some very big shoes to fill, I've asked one of our favorite regular guests, Renee Marshall, to join me today as co-host. Thanks for being here with us today, Renee.
Good morning, Sarah. I am thrilled to be here this morning, and it's wonderful to see you guys face to face. That's so awesome.
This is fun. This is fun. For anybody who's watching on the Facebook live feed, you can see Renee and I. Patty is also here behind the board.
Heyo.
We're so glad that you're here. Patty's going to make us sound smart with all the timing and all that.
You both sound really, really smart anyways. I don't even have to do anything on that. Come on.
Oh, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. So our school, Eye on the Valley, is brought to you by SCVI and I Lead Schools. We're a network of charter schools with campuses in Castaic, Agua Dulce, Lancaster. We've also got a fully accredited online school and a burgeoning homeschool program, I Lead Exploration. I love hearing Matt say burgeoning every week, so I had to leave that in the script. Visit us at ileadschools.org to learn more. We've got a terrific show for you today. This week, our theme for the show is play. So you're going to want to stay tuned and listen if you're going to hear all about the benefits of play. Today, we're kicking it off with Dr. Angie Nastovka. Dr. Angie has an impressive resume with nearly 20 years of experience in education, which is hard to believe because if you met her, you'd think she was a college student. Later in the show, we will hear from Lisa Wilson, the Director of Equity and Outreach for 0 to 3 and the National Center on Early Childhood Development.
I am so excited for these guests today. These are actually two of my colleagues and friends, and so I'm thrilled to have a chance to get to talk with them. But I'm also really excited to have a chance to talk about the upcoming 0 to 3 Take Heart conference that's coming up later this month.
That's fantastic. We'll hear about that in the second hour. I can't wait. All right, so on to our first guest, Dr. Angie Nastovska. Dr. Angie has a BA in English Language Lit, a master's in Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, a California Teaching and Admin credential, PhD in Educational Leadership. She has literally taught every level of education from preschool through high school and even taught at the university level. Born and raised in Macedonia, Angie loves traveling the world. She has worked in Europe, Florida, Washington, D.C., New York, and Texas. And currently, Dr. Angie is a key member of the I Lead Schools Maker Learning Team as the Director of Humanities and Innovation. She's here to talk about the Playmakers Institute. Welcome, Dr. Angie.
Good morning, everyone. I am so excited. I already got my zest for play this morning with my two little ones, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Wonderful. We're so glad that you're here. And yes, the most important role that Dr. Angie has in her life right now, she's also the mother of little ones. And we're so grateful that you're able to join us today and parent and manage. I don't know how you do it all, but you manage it beautifully. So talk to us. Tell us, what is the Playmakers Institute?
Yeah, so I am really glad that I'm coming to the show what it seems like the right time, because as we all know, this pandemic is killing all of us, not just the littles and the deprivation of play. But the Playmakers Institute came out as an idea a few years ago when we opened one of our iLead campuses in iLead Agua Dulce, which if people are familiar with, they already know. And if they aren't, I'm just informing everyone that it's on acres of land in Agua Dulce. What it seems like from afar, it's like a regular farm, and it has everything that you would imagine. Animals, kids working outside, kids reading in trees, jumping all over. Education is active, learner-driven, play-based. So after year one of opening, what we realized is that we constantly talk about the every human being's right to play, and we also, as educators, are able to see how, for some miraculous reasons, society has imposed these constraints that after, I would say, third grade, maybe, we should drastically grow up and forget about play because that's something that kids do. And what are third graders? But anyways, and we just realized that we need some opportunities, some institutions, some initiative that will not only show people how play is for all ages and how can it be done seamlessly because it's part of life. We just forcefully take it out, but also offer an opportunity to do it. So we just sat down, brainstormed about a couple of ideas, and we said, why don't we just start using the campus that we already have? And we established something called the Playmakers Institute that will offer us opportunities to not only bring educators, but community members and anyone really just interested and curious to explore the idea. So before COVID, we successfully hosted 2 opportunities for play-based trainings for educators and community members. It was interesting. It was everything that you would imagine. For the first one, we had adults just staring first at each other for a very long time.
Wait, so you
Then
had
being curious,
adults? I'm sorry.
yes,
You had adults. Okay.
yes. And then fast forward, COVID happened, and we all went into this hibernation mood. And few months ago, again, we met and we said, no, we shouldn't be hibernating anymore. Now is the prime time. Let's offer something online, something distance oriented, something resource oriented. So we just decided that this school year, which started in August, every quarter, we're going to come up with a theme around play. And our first one for this quarter is Play for All Ages. And we're going to do a 4 or 5-part series with launching first an article in depth with resources on Play for All Ages, which is getting published this week. And it's going to be linked to beingmakers.org. And I believe Sara will offer all the resources that I mentioned in the chat and on Facebook. And the second part is a video that we adapt and record based on Canadian video series on play-based education. And the first one was that Plays for All Ages. So we were using our side at Agua Dulce, and we were using all of our learners since now we have K through 12 learners, and we just launched our high school. So we're going to showcase series of play-based opportunities, starting with the adults, the older kids, and scaling it down. And then the third opportunity is like this, a live show, live opportunity to share resources to talk about it. And the fourth, I think the most important initiative is a live webinar that will happen in 2 weeks, and there will be date and sign-up details, which will be completely free. It will revolve around the topic of Play for All Ages, and it will be global. So we selected a time in the middle of the day, 1 to 2:30. Hopefully, a lot of people can join. I know we have people from Australia and Canada joining, and as soon as the word spreads out, hopefully there will be global people, not just educators, that will join for changing the world through play.
Angie, I love this in so many ways. Earlier this week, I was meeting with an assistant principal at one of our high schools, and I was talking with her about kids and the struggles that they're having right now. And she said to me, you know, I understand that the learning loss is real, but right now our priority is the social emotional gaps that the students have. And I'm wondering, you know, we always talk about the importance of play, but could you talk for a bit about play and the impact on social emotional learning and how it's like a direct correlation? If we want our kids to be mentally healthy and strong, we need to let them play, right? And I love that you mentioned high school too. So could you talk for a little bit about that?
Thank you, Renee, for asking me that question. And actually, now that I'm a mom, I'm going to give you a tangible example that parents and non-parents can relate to. Going to the park, you often see different types of parents. I wouldn't say moms because parents are parents. So there's different types of parents. And you're going to see those what we call helicopter parents. They're there for every fall, every pickup, every drop-off, every slide, every swing, and so on. You have hands-off parents that just let their kids be. They have careless parents that just like sit on the bench and pretend like the child is not theirs and just let them explore on their own. And there's so many different types of parents. And I bet you if you talk to each one of them has what they think is a good and sound reason to be the way that they are and present and come out the way that they are. However, what I've encountered through nonchalant research as a mom is that the parents that are there for every single fall, I cannot tell you how much they regret it afterwards. Fast forward, I have few friends that I knew them when they had little kids, and I know them right now that have college and older kids, and they're saying, Angie, we made crucial mistake by being there for every fall. And Renee, here's the correlation between the social, emotional, and the healthy development of a child. When you do not let a child play in a natural way, which is assessing risk, trying, dropping, falling, going again, the trial and error method, putting things in their mouth, exploring via different senses, you are interrupting the natural cause and the natural path for healthy development. Fast forward, here's what happens. The kids that have the overbearing, protective parents who do not or rarely let their kids fall or are there to pick them up every single time that they fall, grow up with less, and this is research proven. I'm telling you, there is so much research about it. They grow up with less developmentally appropriate skills for risk assessment, being daredevil, being initiators, being leaders, being self-starters, but also, and parents listen carefully, what you all want to hear when it's time to move out of the nest, what will those kids do? Well, wait on you because they have waited all their life, right? So it's really, really, really hard later on in life for those kids to naturally have those talents, skills, and needs for exploration, for trying, failing, accepting failure, accepting sickness, illness, and having the perseverance skills when we prevent or do not allow the natural course for play. The same thing happens for the social, emotional, healthy development that includes socializing, communication, collaboration, sharing, initiating play, parallel play, all the different types of forms and shapes of play that include other people and other kids. And again, when we as adults meddle in play, when we say, I'm so sorry, it's not that. Oh, I'm so sorry, don't go there. No, don't share that. No, you can't have that. So, of course, I am the extreme mom, but picking myself up and learning that not all people are there yet, some of the tools and strategies that I would say is, let's just try simple. Try reprogramming your brain to not say no, but think of what you actually want your child to do or say. And we're still not there, but it's a start. Because saying no and saying not that, not this, does not do anything for our kids and other kids. Because A, we just make them want things more. B, we're really not making them do what we want them to do. And C, most important thing, we're not teaching them anything, which is telling them what is it that they should be doing or where should they be going or how they should be doing things, which, you know, if we're assuming any role, at least let's be role model and tell them, oh, do you want to climb here? Let me help you or let me show you how to do that. Oh, I see you want to really play with Sarah's toys. Can we ask nicely or give them the words to say or say, let's go together? So help them go through a process together rather than just deprive them from something or redirect them immediately or say no to something.
I love that. And it makes me think about when it was raining was it last week it was just raining? Because I have to tell you, Angie, the first thing I thought of was, oh, I got to go online and see what the I Lead Agua Dulce school kids are doing. Because I know that some of our schools a couple years ago put a law into effect or a rule into effect where kids were not allowed to run on the concrete. Not allowed. And I get the I get like that part where sometimes people sue, like I get that. But thinking about kids not being able to run at a school just seems just the opposite of what children need during recess. And so the moment the rain comes, we're told as educators to keep kids in. And I was an educator that would bring kids out and people would question me. And I'm so grateful that we now have schools that understand that splashing in puddles and getting wet, these are healthy things for kids, and they're risk-taking behaviors early that lead to risk-taking behaviors later. And so it's healthy to do.
Right. And I'm going to, as a parent, you all know, I have one that's about to go off to college. I have another one that just started high school. And I think I might have even been you, Renee, many, many years ago, 12, 13 years ago, going to one of those parent conferences at the library that you were facilitating.
Oh, yes.
Where basically what you said was our job as parents is to work ourselves out of the job. That's the goal of parenting. Get them to adulthood where they know that they can make mistakes, that they can take risks, not, jumping off the top tier of a ladder with scissors in your hand kind of risks, not dangerous risks, but not being so much afraid to fail, not paralyzing them, not stymieing their growth because
Absolutely.
they don't have confidence in themselves.
And we're in a different time right now with the pandemic, and we're seeing our children are having social emotional gaps that we haven't seen before. So we need to ramp up the play, like all of us. I think we need to honestly commit to being like a child-centered community where we start saying things like, oh, they're not an adult till they're 18. So let's make sure our restaurants give kids discounts, and you get a discount to all the museums and all the movie theaters. And what do we do as a society, as Santa Clarita, to say, we're going to value children and we're going to make sure that their mental health and their well-being is at the forefront of all we do. It's great that we have the wellness centers and those responses to students' wellness, but let's talk about how do we change the system from the very beginning where, like Angie's saying, where we're playing from the moment of birth and we're playing through life and adulthood in order to really enhance that exploration of learning, but also to have a good sense of self and to feel okay about who you are and who you're becoming.
Renee, I love that. And what I actually want to focus on is the proactive method of preventing something rather than reactive method of offering counseling services, therapies, and everything for teens.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Angie, let's talk about that when we come back from commercial. We're going to go to commercial right now, but I want to hear more about the difference between reactive and proactive attention to our young people's needs. This is Sara McDaniels, and this is SCVI and I Lead Schools. We will be right back in a moment. You are listening to Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.
In today's world, we need to take extra care of our bodies. We need strong immune systems, and Bisalay can help. Bisalay is a vegetable supplement packed with minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory ingredients, like bromelain, which helps protect the body from viruses and harmful bacteria by boosting your immune system. All-natural Bisalay can also improve your overall health with vitamin C, D, and zinc. It's gluten-free, non-GMO, and allergen-free. Try it today. Go to Bisalay.net. That's BSOLEIL.net and start taking care of yourself today.
Traffic brought to you by Reeves Automotive and the CHP, who remind motorcyclists to always wear a full coverage DOT-compliant helmet and assume drivers can't see you. New riders should take a California motorcycle safety course and always keep in mind that riders with passengers require more skill.
Once heart attack symptoms begin, delaying treatment increases the risk of heart damage, disability, and even death. Time is critical. Leading the Valley with the most advanced digital technology and treatment times that beat national best practice goals, Providence offers emergency coronary angioplasty and stenting performed by highly trained board-certified cardiologists. For more information, call 1-888-HEALING. The road to healing leads to Providence.
Summer is here. Why not cool off with a new Dunkin Refresher? Choose from lemonade, green tea, or coconut milk with strawberry, peach, or blueberry flavor. Limited time offer, only $3 for a medium-sized drink. Dunkin also has new all-day sandwiches and new donut varieties. Order ahead with the Dunkin app and accumulate points. Located on Bouquet Canyon in the Lowe's Shopping Center and on Sierra Highway in Canyon Country, both with curbside pickup, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Postmates, or use the drive-thru at Sierra Highway. Santa Clarita runs on Dunkin.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized, friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
When you think about your next place, maybe even your forever place, are you hearing more of this and less of this? Introducing 5 Point Valencia, a vibrant new community coming to the Santa Clarita Valley. A place with parks, trails, and fresh architecture, all tuned to the way people want to live today. New homes for all, with prices to match, from the low 400,000s to over $1 million. Learn more at valencia.com.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Sara McDaniels and Renee Marshall. You are listening to SCVI and I Lead School's Eye on the Valley. This morning, Renee and I are talking with Dr. Angie Nastovka. I think I've said your name differently every time, Angie. I'm so sorry. About the importance of play. And right before the break, we were talking about being proactive versus reactive to our children's needs. Can you go more into that?
Yeah, so before the break, just to give a little context for the people that are joining right now, we were talking how especially the pandemic has affected our teenagers and our young adults in such a way that they were socially depressed for a long time, but now that we're kind of slowly coming out of a bubble, it's really hard for them because they spent 1.5 years, almost 2 years in isolation, and now we are going through phases of how do I self-regulate again, how do I socialize again. So I was saying, instead of offering so many resources and so much money about being reactive to kids picking up vices, offering, extra support for rehabs, for counseling services, for therapies and things like that, I just wonder what would happen if we take some of those resources and offer them to less amount of money or free entrances to any cultural institutions, any museums, any parks, any play institutions, the movie theaters, opportunities in the malls to socialize, to play. So I am just wondering what would happen, and I know there is tons of research out there that cities and communities that have decided to do that, it has had so much positive impact on not only lowering but and minimizing, but completely eliminating in some areas and spaces the opportunities for kids or kids actually going for drugs or drinking or any vices out there, and actually behavioral issues as well. So this is just a proactive call to action for everyone out there. What can we do as a community to make this happen, at least in Santa Clarita Valley?
Angie, I love that you just said this is a proactive call to action, because I am a woman of action, and I love that you just phrased it that way. I want to share a really great example that I just encountered this week of one of our Santa Clarita Teachers of the Year, Miss Hannah Mystery, who is up at Castaic High School. She sent an email out to a couple of the parents this week and said, or actually last week, and said, hey, everybody, the kids are really struggling with socializing right now. And so I want to do something 100% informal that will bring joy to the kids. And so today at 3:30 in the afternoon, Her entire Theater 2 and 3 class have been invited to meet up at a park, and we are carving and decorating pumpkins. She called a couple of us parents in and was like, hey, can you guys help out? We want to get all sorts of stuff. One parent's grabbing some pizza. I got some cookies. We have tons of decorations. We have tons of pumpkins for the kids to decorate. And I even sent a message to the teacher and I said, Miss Minstry, how do you feel about carving with kids? When I was a teacher in the Castaic schools, I used to carve with my students. And if you're comfortable, I feel comfortable carving with knives with children. And she wrote back and was like, if you're comfortable, that's fantastic. And I said, wonderful, because there's all sorts of carving kits and stuff that's out there safe. I actually got some at the 99-cent store yesterday. Nice. And so this afternoon, talk about proactive, she's bringing together 15, 16, and 17-year-old children, because they're under 18. They're still children. We need to remember that. And we're going to be hanging out at the park. And I'm saying I'm just going to be one of the parents that's volunteering, setting it up and whatnot.
But you're going to have fun too.
Oh, I can't wait. You should see how much supplies I have. I've like googly eyes, stickers, you name it, we've got it. But she's bringing back the play. She's prioritizing that with the kids. She's ending a very stressful week for the kids with, in a sense, like a celebration of play and an honoring of childhood. And so, Angie, this goes exactly to what you're saying about being proactive versus reactive. It's October. If she was being reactive, she's waiting till December break to say there's a problem. You know what I mean? Or there's a challenge. It's October. She's saying, there's an issue, number one. Number two, and she says, I've seen this pattern. Number two, here's my action. Just like you said, what is our call to action? And that's what we need right now, is we need people standing up and going against kind of the flow of our society, which says by 15, 16, and 17, and 18, we want them to be adults. Their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed till 25, yet we're expecting that they're going to make adult decisions at 15 years old. It doesn't, like the science doesn't make sense with what our systems expect of children and what parents are told is normal. Kind of like when we say, oh, your preschooler's not reading yet. Do we realize that other nations don't worry about kids officially being readers till they're 7 years old, and they just enjoy reading as they're little? And guess what? If we don't pressure them till later, guess which society has much stronger readers? The ones that let kids wait until it's developmentally right for them. So we need to start meeting children where they are and meeting teens where they are, as opposed to our systems and our society, which makes children and teens meet adults where the adults are. That doesn't make sense. And I think that what you're doing with the Play for All, that really is leading to this, isn't it, Angie?
Absolutely it is, Renee. And I'll just add to the reading for littles. Let's also talk about worrying about penmanship when these kids can barely hold a pencil, and how hard it is. How many muscles does adult have to engage to hold a pencil? And we're talking about children that are still in development, and we are making them in preschool and pre-K and kindergarten, forcing them to work on writing, rewriting, and writing, rewriting. And I'm not saying that it's not important, but let them play. Let them put little Legos together. Let them first develop those muscles well. And you know what's going to happen? By consequence, by default, kids will start picking up pens, pencils, and markers, because now they're going to be ready. Instead of, they're not playing with puzzles, they're not playing with small Legos, they're not applying that push and pull of small motor skills in their fingers, right development, but we are forcing them to experiment with one of the most sophisticated movements, engaging all those muscles. Anyways, I'm sorry, you touched an educator and child development person.
Oh, right.
I had to.
Angie, I'm with you. I'm with you. Also, scissors. What about scissors, Angie? How about the fact that kids are not touching scissors until they're like 8 years old now? And then people wonder why their kindergartners and first graders can't cut. It's like kids should have scissors early. We have to know that there's certain types of scissors that are safer than others. We also have to know that a 3-year-old who's engaging with scissors might do something like cut their bangs when they're not being watched. And guess what? It's not the end of the world. It's a logical consequence. You cut your bangs. Wow, you look a little strange right now. They're going to grow back. That's a perfect example of a failure with some risk there. That is like, it's not the end of the world. Plus, the parent has some really cute pictures for a little while of their kid with some funky bangs, right?
You start to like the pictures years later.
Yes.
Not so much the first couple of shots.
You speak from experience, Sarah.
Maybe.
But I think scissors are a prime example, just like Dr. Angie saying about pencils. You know, I taught preschool and then I taught kindergarten for 5 years, and it's shocking if you look at visuals. There's diagrams of a 4 and a 5-year-old's hand development as opposed to an 8-year-old's hand development, and just the number of muscles and the difference of strength in muscles. And Angie, I'm with you. There's also so much about the different kind of styles of writing and how kids do that phonetic spelling at first. And even before that, they're making scribbles. And a lot of times educators are not taught to value those developmental milestones of writing and how important they are. And so sometimes somebody go, well, why are you writing a letter of scribbles? As opposed to, oh, tell me who did you write this letter for? Right. This is a letter for grandma. Tell me what it says. I'm going to write some notes on the back. You know, or you can even videotape the child talking about this written document that might look like scribbles to us, but to them, it represents something different.
And how much does it mean to your child to watch you help them fold up that scribbled on paper?
Absolutely.
Because it's their letter they wrote to grandma. Show them how to address an envelope. We're going to put a stamp on it. Let them drop it in the mailbox. Get the phone call from grandma when she receives the letter. It gives them so much value.
Value is the perfect word, Sarah, and children and people need to feel like we are valuable. Mm-hmm. When we feel that way, we're going to be better in this life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm using this opportunity to jump in, double dutching over here, but it's perfect moment. Another super small with huge impact advice. And I experimented with my child too. You know, as soon as he started preschool, I was one of those moms. You know, when you have kids, you forget everything about being an educator. I was like, oh, what is that? Is it a truck? I'm like, Angie, you know better. As soon as I shifted my conversations to, wow, can you tell me more about this? Mm-hmm. Now there's stories to every single scribble. And parents, I'm telling you, your kids will come out of their shell, will love to read, write, scribble more. They will be eager to have tons of conversations with you just because you're giving them that time of the day to just do nothing. Ask a simple question. Tell me more about it. The same thing, picking them up from school. How was school today? No. Tell me something.
I love that you just said that, Angie, because when we pick up kids and we say, how was school today, especially for those who have junior high and high school kids, we often get the silent treatment. But if you start with a prompt that says something like, tell me your favorite part of the day. Tell me something that surprised you today. If your kid walks in and they're having an awful day and you can tell, oh, tell me what was the most challenging part of your day. But you have to create the space and then open it up and then sit back and wait. And sometimes that silence can be uncomfortable with our children, but they need us to provide that space and provide that silence so they can then use their voice.
Sometimes I ask them who they had lunch with.
Oh, yes. And that's really a good indicator, too, because that also helps us as parents to say, is my child okay? Do they have friends at school? Because right now, kids are struggling with making friends, and that's kids of all ages.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Well, Angie, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I want to give one more plug really quick to the Playmakers Institute. You have an event coming up November 12th, right?
Yes, we do 1 to 2:30. Anyone can join in, and beingmakers.org. That's simple to remember, beingmakers.org all together. On the bottom has a logo for the Playmakers Institute. If you click over there, there's a registration that's completely free. We will have hour and a half conversation around, and I know we didn't have too much time today, but literally, when I say play for all ages, I do professional development through play. I do community-based games. I give small tips for family games and play. So please, everyone is welcome, or just share with someone who you might think needs it or might be interested.
We will do that. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll post the links to the Playmakers Institute in the comments on the Facebook Live feed. You are listening to SCVI and I Lead Schools, Eye on the Valley. This is Sarah McDaniels together with Renee Marshall. And we're going to be right back with Big T on your hometown station, KHTS.
Why did Mercedes-Benz of Valencia win the Dealer of Excellence Award in 2019? because we strive to provide the most outstanding sales experience.
Mercedes-Benz of Valencia COO Chris Paz.
We know you have high expectations. Our stellar team will meet and exceed your expectations. That's why we were named Mercedes Best of the Best, placing us in the top 10% of all Mercedes dealers nationwide.
Find out how you can lease a new Mercedes for unbelievably low monthly payments. Details at mbzvalencia.com.
It's time to experience a pain relief, wellness, and anti-aging treatment unlike any other. It's time to check out Mend Cryotherapy. Relieve chronic joint and muscle pain, diminish soreness and inflammation, alleviate stress-related symptoms, boost immune system performance, and improve sleep and recovery times. Mend Cryotherapy is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to MEND, cryotherapy.com on Newhall Ranch Road in the Gateway Shopping Center.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
Step into a hot shower or slip on a warm t-shirt fresh from the dryer, and you can feel the comfort natural gas gives us every day. For over 100 years, Southern California Gas Company has provided safe, reliable natural gas service. It warms our homes, powers cleaner vehicles, and cooks our food at a fraction of the cost of other energy sources with less environmental impact, today and for decades to come. Natural gas, part of the clean energy solution. Learn more at SoCalGas.com. Search solution.
Circus Vargas, Circus Vargas, Circus Vargas, the biggest big top, he's back in town.
Circus Vargas is proud to present their latest smash hit circus extravaganza, Mr. V's Big Top Dream. Join us in Palmdale at the AV Mall, October 15th through November 1st for a brand new Big Top adventure, guaranteed to thrill and enchant children of all ages. 2 hours of family entertainment at its finest. Acrobats, daredevils, clowns, trapeze, and more. Only at Circus Vargas, where memories are made and cherished for a lifetime. Buy tickets now at circusvargas.com.
Circus Vargas.
Experience Frontier Toyota's all-new hot and exciting Toyota lineup. Serving the Santa Clarita Valley for over 30 years. Frontier Toyota, the Camry, Corolla, and Prius Kings. They're tops in Tacoma and Tundra trucks. Frontier Toyota, the new way of car buying. Shop from home at frontiertoyota.com or visit their showroom at Valencia and Creekside. Discover a whole new car buying experience with your friends at Frontier Toyota.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Sarah McDaniels and Renee Marshall, and you are listening to SCVI and I Lead Schools, Eye on the Valley. Now, if you've been listening since 8 a.m., I'm sure you're aware that our usual host, Matt Watson, is not here today, and Renee and I are doing our best to hold down the fort. While we're here talking about play. And so we can't have a conversation about play without including our regular weekly and most playful guest, Matt's big brother, Big T. Tony, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. Great job, ladies.
Thank you. Hey, I got to ask you, do you think, without Matt here, do you think Mom's listening?
No, but the reason she's not listening is because it's 8:45, not the normal 9:45. Both parents are retired now, so they're not up before 10.
Oh, good. I had something to look forward to. All right, so Matt's not here to defend himself. Go ahead. You can embarrass him. What are some of the games you two used to play as kids?
Games we played as kids, we played a lot of wiffle ball. We played tennis ball tag. We of course fought as brothers all the time, but I do have to tell you, he is my best friend. I love him to death. Other than my wife and my kids, he knows where he stands with me, but we talk every single day, believe it or not, sometimes 5 or 6 times a day. Wow. He is all that he's put out to be. He is amazing.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I love that. Now, one thing though, Tony, and Sarah, play is not just for young people. And so, Tony, what kind of play do you and Matt engage in now as adults? What does play look like for you?
We mess with our parents a lot over the years. We've done some softball, we've done some basketball.
So you're still doing that, just to be clear? You are still messing with parents?
Big time, big time.
Love it,
But
love
mostly, Matt and I both love spending time with our kids, so we'll get out, we'll do hiking, we love boating, we love, we vacation every year together with the kids, and so the kids are all grown up, and of course, most of them gone, but we still get out and get after it with the kids. We love it.
That's fantastic. All right, so are you going to do trivia, even without Matt here?
Yeah, let's dive into it.
All right.
I've got a quick fun fact to kick it off. So,
Okay.
Wally Pipp. A lot of people haven't heard that name. Wally Pipp was a baseball player that played with the New York Yankees. He had a really good career. He played for 15 years as the Yankee first baseman, and he was no slouch. He had almost 2,000 hits, 1,000 RBIs, which right now there's only 5 active players with more than 2,000 hits and 1,000 RBIs. But in June of 1925, Wally Pipp told his manager that he had a headache and he couldn't play. So Miller Huggins put in a rookie by the name of Lou Gehrig at first base. Lou Gehrig went 3 for 5 that day and went on to play 2,130 straight games. So, Matt, I know you got important stuff to do, but, man, maybe you should have taken that aspirin because these ladies are killing it. They
Woo! Wow. All right.
All righty. Here we go. Your name is your buzzer. In Greek mythology, who is the queen of the underworld and the wife of Hades?
Patty.
Patty.
That would be Persephone.
Very good, Patty.
Mm-hmm.
Which house was Harry Potter almost sorted into? Patty.
He was almost sorted into Slytherin, which is the best
Two
house.
for Patty. How many bones does a shark have?
Ooh.
I don't know, but I'm scared.
I have no clue.
0. It's cartilage.
Huh? Lots of teeth,
even their
no
teeth?
bones.
Right.
Terrifying.
Butter or olive oil? Which is lower in saturated fat?
Sarah.
Patty.
Sarah.
Olive
and then
oil.
Patty. Olive oil is correct. In which ocean is the Bermuda Triangle located?
Patty.
Patty.
That would be the Atlantic.
Sarah.
Very true.
Oh.
No, Patty got it. Patty's
I was
killing it
thinking, I was
today.
thinking Caribbean.
Gosh, I'm sleeping over here.
Which U.S. state is known for its peaches?
Renee. Georgia?
Renee. Very good. On the board.
Hey,
Nice job.
Renee's on the board.
I got one. Whoop, whoop.
Who has a hit song right now named Peaches?
Renee Bieber.
Renee.
Justin Bieber.
Bieber.
Yeah, I read
Big
about it. I
Tina
read an
shopper for
article
Justin
about
Bieber.
this.
I was looking at you. We both have teenagers, and we
I
were
do
pausing.
some very serious Justin Bieber research at times, so, keeping it real.
Got me beat there.
Nice. What superhero is referenced in every Seinfeld episode?
Patrick or Patty. I said my full name.
Patty.
I said my full first name. I don't know why. Superman.
Superman is correct.
Because Patrick means business.
I guess so. I don't know why it came out that way.
Some more Greek mythology. Who is the god of the sky?
Greek.
Patty?
Patty.
Is that Hermes?
Incorrect. Anybody else?
Sarah. I'm gonna guess Zeus. He's god of so many things.
That is correct.
All right.
That is correct.
I grew up Catholic. I was going to say God.
Right? Got a girl.
There you go.
Great answer.
The nuns would be
In Greek
proud.
mythology, who's the god of the sea?
Patrick. Patty. I did it again. Why?
Because you mean business. Come on.
Poseidon.
Poseidon is correct. Who's the god of the underworld?
Patty.
Patty. And then Sarah?
That would be Hades.
Very good. Very good.
Got it.
I'm so bad. I'm literally like, is he talking about Loki?
That's Norse. That's not
I have
Greek.
kids who live in the Marvel universe.
That would be me too.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be Patty. In the condition ADHD, what does the AD stand for?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Attention deficit.
Somebody say something?
I got nothing.
Yes, that is correct. Come on, that was the play.
I get what he did there. 1 minute, by the way.
We have 1 minute. So real quick, Tony.
Perfect. The Great Irish Famine began in 1845 when blight spread through what crop?
Sarah.
Potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct.
The potatoes are going bad. All right. Oop, one more. Yep.
Last one. What was the first state to legalize gay marriage?
Sarah.
Iowa. Incorrect. I don't even think they have
It
yet.
was in the Midwest.
We have 30 seconds.
So I know what it was.
East Coast.
Redo.
Massachusetts.
Yep. All righty. Well, thank you so much. Patty, you
Thanks,
got
buddy.
5. I got 4. Renee got 2. Or Patrick. Because you mean business today. This is Sarah McDaniels together with Renee Marshall. And you're listening to SCVI and I Lead Schools, Eye on the Valley, on your hometown station, KHTS.
Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
Excellence isn't just a word, it is what we deliver. Vanguard Protection Group is committed to providing its clients with the highest echelon of protective services available. Our clients not only receive the security services they contract for, but also reports that are well-written, articulate, and thorough. Our patrol officers operate at the highest levels and have an impressive rapport with local law enforcement. With military, police, private policing, and courtroom experience, you can trust that we have the strength to deliver our promise of excellence. Contact Vanguard Protection by calling 661-753-3611 or visiting their website at vanguardprotectiongroup.com.
The City of Santa Clarita invites you to the grand opening of the new Canyon Country Community Center on Saturday, October 30th from 10 a.m. to noon on the corner of Soledad Canyon Road and Sierra Highway. Explore the new community center, watch live entertainment, learn about program opportunities, and have fun at this free event. For more information, visit santa-clarita.com. That's santa-clarita.com. We'll see you on Saturday, October 30th.
A Royal Suite Home Furnishings has been family-owned and operated in Santa Clarita since 1978. They keep America working by stocking heritage-quality furniture made right here in the USA. With high-end design and thousands of fabrics to choose from, a Royal Suite offers a wide selection of furniture at incredibly low prices. Pay 0% interest with your approved credit for 12, 24, 36, or 48 months. See store for details. Visit A Royal Suite's massive showroom on Carl Boyer Drive near Sam's Club in Santa Clarita.
A Royal Suite.
Sweet dreams. Introducing Oakmont of Valencia, Oakmont's second luxury senior living community in Santa Clarita. At Oakmont of Valencia, you'll have access to full-time assisted living services provided by compassionate staff in the privacy of your own home. Oakmont's Diabetic Wellness Program offers assistance with monitoring and managing glucose levels, meals, exercise, and activities. Oakmont of Valencia offers a fully equipped wellness center and concierge medical program, allowing outside physicians to visit on site. Discover the care your loved ones deserve in a resort-style setting. Visit oakmontofvalencia.com.
It's time to enhance your natural beauty and well-being at Hestia Medical Spa. Feel as good as you look with services that include body sculpting using the most up-to-date technology, including high-intensity focused ultrasound. Choose from a long menu of services like IV therapy, which is a great energy booster, combats dehydration, boosts your immune system, and conquers hangovers. Experience rejuvenation at Hestia Medical Spa, located on Valencia Boulevard next to City Hall. Call 753-3434 or go online at hestiamedicalspa.com.
KHTS AM 1220 and 98.1 FM Santa Clarita. It's 9 o'clock. Time for national news.
A confessed school shooter pleads guilty to something else. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A hearing being held for Nicholas Cruz in Florida, where Fox's Evan Brown has more live.
Elisa, Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz is pleading guilty in a Fort Lauderdale court.
How do you wish to plead?
I plead guilty.
Count 2 back.
And that is to charges of attacking a jail guard. For this alone, he could spend years in prison, but Cruz will now be pleading guilty to shooting and killing 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School this coming Wednesday. However, there still will be a trial, not to find guilt, but whether or not a jury would find Cruz eligible for the death penalty, Lisa.
Thanks, Eben. The U.S. about to throw open the doors to more international travelers. Fox's Jared Halpern has this live.
COVID-related restrictions for fully vaccinated international travels will be lifted November 8th, the White House announced, ending a ban that kept most foreign nationals from traveling to the U.S. since early 2020. The new policy applies to air and land travel, ending a prohibition on non-essential border crossings with Canada and Mexico in place since March of last year. The U.S. Travel Association applauded the move, calling the decision a major turning point in the management of the virus that will accelerate the recovery of millions of travel-related jobs. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. Well, at the southern border, the Biden administration now plans to reinstate President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy for asylum seekers as ordered by a federal judge. They still need to work out some logistics with Mexico, though. Supply chain issues not stopping Americans from spending.
Retail sales rose 0.7% in September. Economists were expecting a decline, mostly because of the chip shortage causing a limited supply of cars to buy. Excluding auto sales, retail sales rose 0.8%.
Fox's Jenny Cosola. The increase is partly due to higher prices. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a fact. COVID hospitalizations of young people have tripled since the start of summer. Also a fact. Vaccines are highly effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths, even from the Delta variant. If you've got questions about COVID vaccines, talk to a doctor, because our kids are irreplaceable. We can do this. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Saturday, October 23rd, is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Remove expired or unused prescription stimulant medications from the home quickly to help reduce the chance that others may accidentally take or intentionally misuse the medicine. According to the FDA, the best way to dispose of unused medications is through drug take-back programs or registered collection sites. For more information or to locate the Take-Back Day location closest to you, go to DEATakeback.com. This message is paid for by Adlon Therapeutics.
A hurricane still causing problems weeks after flooding parts of the Northeast.
Historic rain from Hurricane Ida swamped the area on September 1st, claiming at least 30 lives, as well as producing storm water runoff rushing down a steep slope behind the Ron Jolin apartment complex, sparking a rock slide. Now 45 families are out of their apartments in West Orange, which is a bedroom community west of New York City. An engineer's assessment says the complex is unstable, adding there's a high risk of further failure, which could lead to property damage and a possible loss of life. Residents scrambling out early this week, helped by first responders and township officials who say hotel bills are being paid through the mayor's Sunshine Fund. CJ Papa, Fox News.
That's West Orange, New Jersey. Another booster shot meeting for an FDA advisory panel the day after they recommended a half-dose booster of Moderna's vaccine for certain high-risk groups. Today, it's Johnson & Johnson's turn, the only drug maker with a single-dose COVID shot. They'll not only consider a J&J booster, but also data suggesting that using another brand for a second dose might provide better protection. Time to check the fridge or the freezer.
Butterball is recalling 14,000 pounds of ground turkey nationwide because they may contain small pieces of hard blue plastic. The product sold at specific BJ's and Kroger retail stores. The trays sold under the Farm to Family brand have a sell-by date of October 18th, and 3-pound trays of the Kroger brand ground turkey have an October 17th sell-by date. The problem was discovered after the Department of Agriculture and Butterball received complaints about plastic embedded in raw turkey meat. Shoppers are asked to discard or return any products to the place of purchase. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Back-to-back rallies on Wall Street. The Dow's up 281, back over 35K. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks are gaining on Goldman Sachs, joining other big banks in reporting better than expected earnings. Goldman's summer quarter jumped 60%, and its investment bankers had their second best quarter on record. Charles Schwab's quarter was also stronger than forecast, helped by trading. Retail sales rose 0.7% last month. Economists were expecting a decline. The University of Michigan's mid-October sentiment index declined. The survey's chief economist, Richard Curtin, predicts the Delta variant, supply chain shortages, and reduced labor force participation will have an impact going into next year. Johnson & Johnson shares are higher after the company separated the injury claims from its talc business into another unit and placed it in bankruptcy. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Guys, Untuckit agrees it's finally time. Time to update our closets with new clothes we actually want to wear. Time to think about going back to the office or choosing a new way to work. Time to enjoy the best of fall, like long walks in the park and hot coffee on a brisk day. And that means it's time to look sharp and feel comfortable all day with Untuckit. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Discover the perfect fitting shirt today at untuckit.com. Use promo code TIME for 20% off your first purchase at untuckit.com.
Thanks for listening to KHTS AM 1220, Canyon Country, California. K260CO 98.1 FM, Santa Clarita, California.
Folks, this is your pancake speaking. If you look out your window, we're flying over IHOP's delicious international pancake combos.
Sweet tres leches.
A pancation wonderland with views of Belgian chocolate, tres leches, and vanilla spice.
Pancakes.
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 Pancakes. You know, let's back this thing up and take another look.
Go on a pancation with international pancakes at IHOP, starting at $4.99.
Life's real tests are never standardized. The curriculum at iLead Agua Dulce places self-discovery at the core of every experience, so your learner will be ready to lead in the real world. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 9 and expanding to grades 10, 11, and 12 in the coming years, giving your child the perfect opportunity for continuous play-based social-emotional learning. Enroll now so you can enjoy iLead Agua Dulce's beautiful campus and outdoor classroom for hands-on learning. To learn more about iLead Agua Dulce and our unique approach to learning, visit iLeadAguadulce.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
Hey, this is Kyle with your hometown station weather. Wind is expected today here in the Santa Clarita Valley. Mostly sunny today with highs in the 80s. Overnight low is going to be in the 50s, but overall a nice day here in the Santa Clarita Valley.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Sara McDaniels, your fill-in host for this week only, and I'm joined by Renee Marshall. You are listening to SCVI and iLead Schools, Eye on the Valley, and we're coming to you live from the KHTS studios here in the center of Main Street in beautiful downtown Newhall. So, Renee, you have been so wonderful today to join me in supporting the show while our usual host, Matt Watson, is busy providing professional learning for all the staff at SCVI and iLead Schools. And we jumped right in with our first guest, Dr. Angie. But you've been a guest on Eye in the Valley numerous times over the years. You're always a favorite. Can we check in with you right now and talk about some of the projects you have going on?
Of course, of course. As always, Sarah, I have a million projects going on, all related to education, children, families, and just what we do. But I do want to talk for a few minutes about a conference I'm actually going to be presenting at later this month called the Take Heart Conference. And it's from a national organization called 0 to 3. And we're talking about play. We're talking about best practices with children. And it really segues into this this group that I'm going to be presenting with. And later today, we're going to have Executive Director Lisa Wilson come in and talk to us also. And she is the Director of Equity for the National Center. We'll have the full description later. But Lisa also works with 0 to 3, and Lisa and I have been, along with some of our colleagues. So I want to make sure I give credit where credit's due. We also work with one colleague in particular. Her name is Tanette Salter, and she runs a group called Joint Special Populations Advisory Council, which is jspac.org. And we've been working on this concept of how do we humanize education, especially in the virtual space, because we knew ahead of time that the social emotional gaps would be some of the most significant kind of pieces coming out of the pandemic. And so how do we kind of proactively, really look at this concept ahead of time? And so it's really cool because 0 to 3 is a national organization that focuses on children ages 0 to 5. So it's really focusing on early care. They actually specialize in a couple different areas. They specialize on early development and well-being, just what we were talking about today, well-being, right? They talk about early learning. They also really focus on parenting and having a lot of resources available. And then one of the things that's most exciting to me about the organization 0 to 3 is they also focus on policy and advocacy when it comes to children and families and parents.
Oh, I know that means a lot to you. I know that. And I love that you brought in focusing on parenting, because I think sometimes our institutions, not just education, but just in general, they sort of feel like, well, we know it's best for children, and they take parents out of the equation. One of the things that, when we do our individualized learning plans together with our learners at the beginning of the year at SCVI and at I Lead Schools, it's a 3-partner meeting. It's your child's facilitator, it's the parents, and it is the learner, all working together. So I love that 0 to 3 really includes the parenting aspect.
Well, and it's perfect that you said that too, because one of the components of this concept of humanizing learning is how, we have this system where, like, I worked at College of the Canyons for 14 years, and we've got education plans at COC, which are awesome because it gives you like a roadmap to what you need to do. And so having been a professor there and seeing these students be so successful with these roadmaps, these education plans. And then on the reverse side, I used to also teach. I taught at all 4 schools in the Castaic district. And though I was never a special education teacher, I always mainstreamed special education students. And our students in special education, they have individualized education plans. And so from the moment they're part of that system in education, you have this check-in. Where are you at? Where do you need to go? Where are the gaps? Where, what resources do you need? Imagine if we, as an education system, especially now that we have universal preschool and universal extended care have now been put into legislation. So we're now going to start seeing all sorts of kind of different resources, including education is not going to be kindergarten or first grade as the start. It's going to be 3 years old as the start.
Wow.
Yeah, and so and there's pros and cons by all means. I was a preschool teacher for years, so we want to make sure that 3s and 4s and 5s are play-based education as much as possible. Like there's, but Department of Ed and the Commission on Teacher Credentialing are doing a ton with this right now. But imagine if we had like the individualized learning plans at SCVI and iLead. Imagine if across the entire state of California, or may I be as bold to say across the nation, that we had these check-in plans starting at 3 years old, where we would sit down and it would be like a team. We'd have, the teacher and or facilitator. We'd have hopefully the child. We'd have the parent there, and or the caregivers, and we'd sit down and say, what are your dreams for your student? What are your, what are your challenges? What are your resources? And imagine if every single year that was part of what we did. Imagine those, parent-teacher conferences. They're happening right now this week. Some of the schools are off today because they're doing PD, professional development, and they did the conferences earlier this week. Imagine if it was an ongoing dialogue where you had this document, this living document, where it's like, I think about my family right now and my own children. My mom has been very, very sick recently. She's doing a lot better right now, but the first, about 8 weeks of the school year were turbulent for my family. And my kids, they've done really well, but it's been really hard. And I just talked to their school this week, and I wish that I would have had the capacity to talk 2 months ago.
And let them know.
Absolutely, because now they're like, oh my gosh, of course we're going to help you. We're going to make sure all the teachers know to give your kids some extra love right now, to give extra grace. If as a family we miss an email or, you try to stay on top of everything. But imagine if that was part of the system.
It should be.
You know what I mean?
It should be. And when you know things are coming, like you didn't know that your mom was going to get sick and what you were going through. I did that when I divorced a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I sent the email out to student support, to all their teachers, to the front desk person. And I said, just so you all know, Dad moved out this weekend. Kids are going to need some extra love.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you were aware, and it helped them so much as just the front office staff.
Absolutely.
To know why my kid keeps wandering in the office and anybody got a Band-Aid?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, and they, what are you doing here?
Absolutely.
Right?
Or I've got a stomach ache,
They didn't know what was going on. How could they help her?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really does education needs to be a team effort as much as possible. And I think 0 to 3 really is at a foundational level, starting that off, having these different opportunities for people to talk together. They do a ton of different resources. They have publications for families. They have publications for early childhood educators. They have publications for policymakers when it comes to children and what's best for them. I mean, it really is an outstanding national organization that is trying to do what's best for the children of the United States.
That's fantastic. And they have an event coming up too, right?
Yeah, they have an event. It's called the Take Heart Conference, and it's an annual conference that 0 to 3 holds. I'm so blessed that I get to be one of the presenters, along with Lisa Wilson, who's going to be joining us in about 15 minutes. Lisa's one of my favorite people on this planet. And the Take Heart Conference, it runs from October 25th to 29th. It's open to anybody who's interested. There is a registration cost, but just so you know, they also, a lot of times with groups, organizations like 0 to 3, if you are there live, you have to pay, and then often afterwards they will post the different recordings and whatnot and make them available. So if people have the capacity to wait, then they can wait. But if you have funding and are able to attend live, that's always a great thing. I'm really excited because
and to help contribute to the cause too, right?
Absolutely. Well, and help contribute to the conversation. One of the things that I really value is within this conference, not only are we presenting on this concept of how do we humanize learning, but we're also going to have ample Q&A time with people across the nation to talk live about this. And I know some people are get kind of worried about doing live things. To me, it's like, are you joking to be live with educators from across the nation talking about how do we humanize this experience and how do we help our kids be whole? Because that's all it's about. How do we help people feel whole? How do we help them feel good?
So what does humanizing education mean to you?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
I know.
And how many hours do we have? Right? Well, and Lisa's going to talk a bit about this too. But humanizing is really, how do we, either in the virtual space or the face-to-face space, make people feel like they matter every day in a tangible way? And it could be something as simple. One of the things, one of the teachers in our town did a study, an informal study with quite a few of her students.
Okay.
And during the pandemic, and basically said, if you could bring one thing out of the pandemic that would continue in your regular high school classes, what would it be? And guess what the kids said?
What?
The teens. They said, check in with us at the start of every class. Because that was something we did virtually because our classes were truncated. You know what I mean? Or especially for junior high and high school, they went teacher to teacher to teacher. And so you could have one day where you see 6 educators over the course of a school day.
Right.
And so the students said, when you stop and say, either in the chat or in live, whatever the prompt is. I did a prompt on Wednesday night with this one event, and I said, tell me your favorite part about fall. Because it's fine, we're finally feeling cold, and people are like, "Oh, I love the drinks, and I love to wear sweaters, and I love to just sit on my couch."
Pumpkin spice,
right? Totally. But it just gives people a chance to connect. We usually traditionally go straight into curriculum or straight into whatever our to-do list is, and what we need to do is within humanizing is step back, see the human at the forefront, meet people where they are as opposed to having them meet us where we are.
Right.
And the best part about humanizing is it really gets to the heart of equity with trying to see who everybody is individually and what they bring to the table, and then really sitting there and kind of saying, what else do they need and how do we get those resources there? In education, I'd love to say that it's personalized, but we have so many people and children and teens that have to go through that it has to be systematic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we systemize something, then we lose some of the personalization. Humanizing brings the person to the forefront of all we do in education.
I love that. And I think also, for my limited classroom experience time, but then also observing when so many teachers and facilitators, they're pressured to get through the material, get the kids to a certain place. And so maybe they forget or they don't prioritize that, taking that time to get to know the young people that are in their room. But on the flip side, what I have noticed is if you take that time to create a safe space, to create a classroom culture that is collaborative, shared, that is not teacher-centered and material-centered, but learner-centered, you're going to get through the material.
Absolutely.
You're going to get through it faster. You're going to get through it easier.
Deeper?
Absolutely deeper, because the kids feel comfortable and you're not constantly reminding them to get off their phone and stop playing Candy Crush or whatever. They're engaged in what you're doing.
Well, and I love the idea of being human-centered. You know what I mean? Because in addition to it being student or child or that centered, learner centered, we also have to think about the person who is in the room that's the adult. Because a lot of times then the teacher on the side. Well, what if we humanize the experience for the teacher as well? You know what I mean? If we know of I know of a teacher right now who's an old friend of mine that I taught with 20 years ago or something like that, right? I found out this week she's having surgery soon. So I sent her a message. We were talking about something else. She's like, yeah, I'm going to have this surgery. I'm really sorry. I can't be involved in this. I said, no problem. Do you want me to bring you guys some food?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, no, it's okay. Because that's our first instinct is to go, oh, no, we're okay.
We can do it all.
And I'm like, wait a second. You've got like a lot of kids and they're boys and they're hungry. And you've got a husband and you've got you. And why can't I make you some chicken noodle soup? Do you know what I mean? And why can't we get to a point where we can say, here's what I need, as opposed to saying, oh, no, I'm going to surgery, but I'll be fine.
Asking for help, I think, is probably the most difficult thing for a lot of people to do, most people to do.
Many students and children.
Yes. Yes. Our high schoolers, holy cow, it's so hard to get them to feel like they're allowed to ask for help.
Yes.
That they can be, they walk into the classroom thinking they should know how to do everything. No, that's not why you're coming into the classroom. You're coming into the classroom to learn how to do things. And if we thought you already knew how to do all this stuff without our help, we wouldn't make you take the class, right?
Yeah, and their perceptions are off. I mean, I think of one of my own kids. My children are both at Castaic High School. I have twins that are 15. They're in 10th grade. And they are both involved in dual enrollment at College of the Canyons, which is such a wonderful opportunity to gain college credit while you are in high school. So one of my kids she's taking comms, communications, which for everybody who knows, right, Patty? Comms, it's hardcore.
It's hardcore.
Well, and to do it at 15 is hardcore. So she was practicing this speech. She spent about 30 hours working on this speech.
Wow.
You don't even want to get me started on that, but
30 hours at 15 on.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then she rolls it, and first time she times it, it's 13 minutes. And she's been told that it needs to be 5 to 7 minutes. And she spent 30 hours researching all this very detailed outline, right? So she's crying, and this is on Saturday night. And I said to her, why don't you contact your COC professor? Let them know. Talk to them about the fact you're at 13 minutes, but you've done all this research. And is it okay if I'm over this 8-minute, restriction? Especially given that the outline that they were given, I talk fast, and I don't think I could have done it in I think it was like 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 minutes. I'm like, you can't research a ton of stuff and then package it that small, not when you're required. Anyways, she says to me, I can't contact my professor because I will look like I'm not prepared. I said, wait a second. I was a professor for 12 years. Okay, if you're contacting on Saturday night and your thing is due on Tuesday, you are absolutely prepared. If you're due to present at 4:30 on Tuesday and you message me at 4:15 as the professor, that's when I know that you're not prepared.
Right.
But here was the thing. She couldn't break away from the idea that she may present as unprepared.
Wow.
Which ironically, she was over-prepared. Do
Right.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
she over-prepared.
She wasn't in a spot where she felt like she could talk to the professor. So, but this reminds me about just everything was 0 to 3 and going back to being kid first. Because in this situation, I said to her, I can reach out for you. Oh, no, you can't. I said, well, there's a form there's a form we can fill out that COC offers that allows parents to talk to the professor. Oh, no, you can't. So at this point,
Don't
the
embarrass
professor,
me, Mom, or
totally.
right? Okay.
But right now, we want to believe that children have the agency to advocate for themselves, and they don't. They were already stunted pre-pandemic. Now they're stunted to this whole different level. 0 to 3 honors where children are. They honor where we hope to get them.
Oh, I'm excited to hear more about it. Oh, I can't wait.
And they're
That's great.
fun to work with, I have to be honest. They're totally fun to work with.
Okay, anybody has a great time when they work with you.
Oh,
I'm
well,
having
thank
a great
you.
time too. So, all right. So I wanted to ask you really quick before we go to commercial break. So you and I have known each other a long time, and we talked about it in the first segment. We just got to know each other because we like ran into each other around town.
Over and over and over.
We have kids the same age. We're going to all kinds of
art
family
stuff
events.
and
Yes.
City of Santa Clarita stuff.
Holy cow. And we would start to run into, I knew I'd see you here with your kids. I knew I'd see, yeah. So, but you're always up to date on the wonderful family things that people can participate in locally. Do you know of anything coming up?
How about something tonight?
Okay.
One of the things that one of the kind of initiatives or groups that I get the opportunity to volunteer with is the Santa Clarita Valley Human Relations Roundtable.
Excellent.
And we are a group of people that are concerned with equity and just, how do we have an equitable environment, and how do we respect each other, and how do we celebrate, the diverse community that we have in Santa Clarita and beyond. And so this month is Hispanic Heritage Month. It actually started mid-month and then goes to mid-month. It has interesting start and stop dates, but it's a month-long celebration of Hispanic heritage. And the Human Relations Roundtable, we wanted to partner with our local Boys and Girls Club. Matt Nelson, CEO, best guy on the planet. I love Matt. And
love the Boys and Girls Club.
They're constant partners. If you ever want to partner with anybody who's in nonprofit land in Santa Clarita, talk to the Boys and Girls Club. You've got a good idea, just go with them. So talked with Matt, and tonight at Hart Park at 6 p.m., we are offering a free showing of the movie Coco.
I love that movie.
I know, and our idea was, how do we bring something that's, informal, but everybody comes together, and something that's going to be kid-friendly and family-friendly, and also, really importantly, we wanted to find something that was going to be authentic to the Hispanic culture and tradition. And for anybody, I am not Hispanic, but I have been blessed that for the majority of my career, I've worked with a lot of Hispanic students. And so I have tried, and Latina, I've tried my best to kind of engage in the culture. I also went to Alamany High School, which at that time was 50% Latino and 50% white. So I've always felt kind of like an insider outsider. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really respect the culture. And one of the things with Coco, it's legit. It's legit. There's so many elements of that movie that they thoroughly researched the culture to make sure that it was a match. Plus, I love just the storyline of the abuelita, and when the song, and then all of a sudden she comes back, and just some powerful messages in that movie. So
visually stunning as well.
Visually stunning.
I love that
and
movie.
It's super low key. So anybody who's interested, come to Hart Park tonight, 6:00. If you go on the Santa Clarita City of Santa Clarita website or the Facebook page, you'll see the advertisements. It's free. Bring some chairs, a blanket, anything you want, and come join us. We're all just going to be hanging out and celebrating together, and just honoring the Hispanic culture in Santa Clarita for a bit.
Fantastic.
So it should be fun.
Bring the kids. Okay, great. Well, been sitting here having a great time talking with Renee Marshall, one of our favorite regular guests on Island the Valley. Thank you so much for filling in as co-host with me this week. When we get back from commercial, you will hear more from Renee, and joining us will be Lisa Wilson, so stay tuned.
SCVI is a tuition-free TK through 12 charter school that gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely. We offer a customized learning program built around your child's unique interests and strengths, with the only international baccalaureate program in all of Santa Clarita. Our approach keeps students and families in step no matter where your learning is taking place. Be empowered to make your mark on the world at SCVI. To take a tour or enroll now in our one-of-a-kind program, visit ileadsantaclarita.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
Do you suffer from peripheral neuropathy in your hands or feet? One drug after another, continuing numbness, tingling, burning pain, balance problems, decreased quality of life? Are you experimenting with drugs like Lyrica, Neurontin, gabapentin, Cymbalta with limited success, and your doctor telling you just have to live with it? My name is Dr. Thomas Pilecki, DC, host of Get Better with Dr. Pilecki and founder of Neuropathy Dr. X. I'm here to tell you that there is now a non-invasive natural solution to your neuropathy right here in Santa Clarita, a solution that addresses the underlying causes, and we're proud to say that we have an 87 to 97% success rate with neuropathy sufferers in getting their lives back. I'd like to invite you to our next seminar, when we'll teach you how to reverse this deadly condition that affects over 50 million Americans today. To reserve your spot now, call 753-9340. This is a free seminar, but seating is limited, so call 753-9340 now.
No contract pest control. Did you hear that? Yes, Unipest has no contract, low impact, affordable, and environmentally and family friendly pest control options with orange oil or other family friendly products. Whether it's ants, spiders, gophers, termites, or bed bugs, Unipest Termite and Pest Control has an effective, eco-friendly option for you. Call Unipest today for a free orange oil inspection at 661-BUG-7575 or visit unipest.com.
In today's world, we need to take extra care of our bodies. We need strong immune systems, and B-Soleil can help. B-Soleil is a vegetable supplement packed with minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory ingredients, like bromelain, which helps protect the body from viruses and harmful bacteria by boosting your immune system. All-natural B-Soleil can also improve your overall health with vitamin C, D, and zinc. It's gluten-free, non-GMO, and allergen-free. Try it today. Go to bsoleil.net. That's BSOLEIL.net and start taking care of yourself today.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS Radio 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. We're having so much fun today on Eye on the Valley talking about play. Our next guest is Lisa Wilson. Lisa is the co-founder of CARE, a coalition of dynamic activists and change agents who develop curriculum and professional learning offerings that empower professionals to fight and advocate for social justice, human rights towards an equitable and inclusive world for all people. And as the previous professional development coordinator for Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge pilot in Los Angeles County, Lisa expanded her passion for quality programs for all children to close opportunity gaps. She was the co-chair and chair, I'm guessing those are two different times, of the Child Care and Early Education Task Force, as well as a member of Community Voices, and has worked in the field of early childhood education for over 20 years. Now, as the Director of Equity and Outreach, Lisa Wilson oversees the development and implementation of equitable practices within the National Center on Early Childhood Development. Lisa, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm excited to be here.
Lisa, it's so great to have a chance to talk to you today. You're one of my favorite people on this planet, and I love collaborating with you. And I'm so excited that you're able to be on the radio and to talk for a bit about this upcoming conference that we'll be speaking at, the 0 to 3 Take Heart Conference. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
You know, Renee, it's such a dynamic conference because it's really an opportunity for people to, even in a virtual setting, be able to take some time out for themselves to kind of reset, you know, and kind of be able to refresh the reason why we do what we do and hear from leaders in the field. You know, we're all leaders, I feel like, in a capacity when it comes to working with children and families. And one thing that we have to lead is change for there to be more of an equitable future for all children to really reach their highest life and learning potential. And that's really what Take Heart's about. You know, equity work is not just hard work, but it's heart work. So being able to, you know, at times we all struggle with different types of thoughts going on, you know, during the pandemic, I think, and the civil unrest, you know, thoughts where we feel like, man, is this going to get better? But this conference is really about taming those thoughts and working from a place of heart conscious and being able to hear not just a single story, but, you know, a collective story of what it will take for us to, you know, see and create a brighter future for all children. So that's really what the conference is about, coming together, encouraging one another, building each other up, And I'm just excited to present with you, Renee.
I know, me too, Lisa. Me too. That was actually going to be my next question, too. I'm so excited that we're going to be presenting on this concept of creating humanizing and equitable learning at the TAKE conference. And Sara and I, just before you came on, we were talking a bit about this concept of humanizing and what does that look like to humanize learning. But Lisa, we'd love to hear your perspective. What does it mean to humanize learning?
I love that question because I feel like it's something that most of us want to do, but we just have kind of lost I feel like almost tools. Some of it because we've been pushed into a very much of a virtual space where we feel almost disconnected to a lot of people, but tethered to technology more than maybe we feel comfortable with. Sometimes I think what that does, and when we're so tethered to technology, we're always looking in screens, is it creates this false sense of just kind of reality in a way, I was joking with somebody about, Kim Barker, she's another co-founder of CARE. We do a Fire Friday show. And I was joking because a couple weeks ago, Kim and I were in Los Angeles, and I ran into somebody that we do work together, but we've only connected on LinkedIn, this person and I. And they go, I know you from somewhere. Are you on TV? And I was like, no, I'm on Fire Friday on LinkedIn. And we started laughing because that's kind of the world we're in right now, right? We've got lots of people that are streaming, that are doing all these kinds of great things. But in a way, too, it kind of disconnects us from reality in that we're all human beings, Mm-hmm. And, we're all really trying to just get through the day, get through our life. And I feel like at the core of us, it just comes down to working from a place of love, just having that heart conscious. And I think when it comes to humanizing for me, it's about just seeing people as human beings with basic needs that need to be met, and looking really at that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In order for children to get to that place of self-actualization, they have to have that psychological safety in place, and they have to have a sense of love and belonging, right? And so I feel like humanizing is that, recognizing that this is a sacred life. Every person's life is sacred and meaningful, and that all of us have basic needs, and if we can just, really work from that place, I feel like we'll be in a better place. So that's what it means to me to really humanize the virtual learning space.
Lisa, I love that you mentioned basic needs because within the community college system, we're doing more to support students with basic needs than we have seen probably ever historically. Just earlier this week, I was speaking with a leader of teacher preparation from NorCal Teach Up, and we were talking about Yuba County and how they are looking at installing smart refrigerators on campus where students can swipe a card to get food for free. Staff can swipe a card to get food for low cost, and they're partnering with all sorts of different agencies in order to make this happen. Plus, they're looking at creating apprenticeships opportunities for students to be stocking, to organize it, to create nonprofit, like to kind of go with all the soft skills that go along with this, or the employability skills. I shouldn't say soft skills, I hate that, but employability skills. So when I love that you mentioned this idea about basic needs, we talk about Maslow before Bloom, because if people aren't eating, if they don't have a place to sleep, we're in the community college system, we're now looking at homelessness and how do we help people who have home insecurity to make sure that they've got a place that's safe for them. We have students who are sleeping in their cars. We need to.
I was going to ask about that. Please tell me that's better, because I remember there was some wonderful, it was caged at this great news story about 3-4 years ago where, I don't know if it was state legislation or something, where community college students were now allowed to park their cars on campus so they would have a safe place for them to sleep while they were in college. And it was caged as this was some great progressive idea, and I couldn't get past the headline. I was like, but why aren't we providing housing? Why is
we're
it a good
moving in that
thing?
direction. We're moving in that direction. We're seeing community colleges that are starting to build housing. Good. There's infrastructure monies for that, but it goes along or back to this idea of humanizing. And Lisa, I want to touch base with you on how does humanizing help us with issues of equity?
I think that just hearing that story, talking about homelessness and just thinking about, when you talk about how does humanizing help with things of equity and coming from an equity lens, excuse me, I think about equity is really just about seeing people for where they're at in their life and extending help. It's that compassion, empathy component. It's the ability to suspend your ego and your judgment and not worry about how they got in that situation. Why are they homeless? But what can I do to help? Is really the questions I think we should be asking.
Lisa, we were literally just talking about this concept earlier of meeting people where they are as opposed to requiring them to meet us where we are.
Yeah.
You know what? And my hat's as an educator, of course, but we can look at this within so many different of the worlds that, because people live in multiple worlds, and that's important to note. Your world of school is not the same as your world of work or your world of soccer or the other things that you engage in. So I love this concept of really, truly meeting people where they are. Now, Lisa, you have blessed us with the Coalition for Anti-Racist Education, CARE. Can you tell us a little bit? And you're the founder of this, and I've been so fortunate to kind of be along for the ride and support as much as possible. And I've been a guest speaker, and just it's been wonderful as we delve into these issues, or not issues, but we delve into these topics of equity. And tell us a little bit about CARE, and tell us about this Coalition on Anti-Racist Education that you've created, and if people can get involved.
Yeah, thanks, Renee. Yeah. So CARE is definitely a networking collective. We do everything virtually. We are going to be having a really amazing convening, and that's going to be some news to follow that people will be invited to. We're looking to host it in Costa Rica in 2024, August, so mark your calendars. We're really excited about that.
It's in person? We get to go to Costa Rica?
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I have to tell you about Lisa Wilson, she's making this happen too. The moment she says this, it's now on radio, it's now on Facebook and LinkedIn, so it's legit now, right, Lisa? It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Costa Rica 2024?
I just renewed my passport.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Tell us more about it.
So, what CARE is committed to doing is just really raising awareness, elevating, as you said, they are issues though, right? And they're topics of conversation, but they're issues because there's barriers that racism has created that actually inhibit inclusive climates, right? It actually inhibits the ability for children to reach their highest life and learning potential. Yep. So these are real issues, right? We're talking about civil rights issues. We're talking about human rights issues that have been created because of racism. And so, our coalition is committed to doing that very thing, talking about things that make people feel like they don't necessarily have a choice in the matter. But once we elevate it, they recognize that not only do they have a choice, but it is really within their power and privilege to start to lean in to work together in collective action for liberation for all people. And that's really what the collective is about. So if it's a matter of do you need knowledge about a certain bill that is going to be on the ballot and what to vote on for, ending modern slavery with our prison system, what else do you need to know? And let us try to figure out who we can speak to, right, and who we can showcase on our Fire Friday shows, which we stream twice a month on LinkedIn and our YouTube channel as well. You can learn more about our collective on antiracismed.org, and you can also become a member. Membership's free, but we do require people to go through an asynchronous, course on radical empathy in order to be a member. But, for us, it's really just about that heart connection, working from a place of love, meeting people where they're at, seeing what their needs are, and really through that collective and collaborative thought partnership action, that's what's going to move change. And, we know change happens when it gets to policy, right? So, this coalition is committed to that policy change. Coming together, getting people's name on a ballot, really insisting on certain types of required curriculums and mandates within our, California school systems, as far as look at what this great, wonderful, I feel like, accomplishment of ethnic studies mandate for our high schoolers in California. That's huge. Being able just to create a space for students to ask questions, share, and learn, I think is important. So that's what the collective is committed to, and we would love for people to join and be a part of the coalition.
I love that I keep hearing collective, coalition. I love that is at the forefront of CARE. And that's something that I thought was really cool being brought in very early is as one of the people of CARE, is that Lisa took an inclusive approach. She could have easily said, Renee is not a woman of color. Renee does not, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She could have said, Renee can't be here. She's not on the list. Right. And instead she was like, wait a second, Renee's got some value to bring. Lisa knows I'm always in for having hard discussions because I think that's how we get better as a society. When we hide and we don't have these discussions, I think it's detrimental to us. And so how do we create the safe spaces? How do we have a collection, a collective of people working together? And how do we engage in this advocacy, to make life better?
Right, because we all want to live in a world. I love that you said radical empathy was the required asynchronous. I love that term. Oh, I want to be there.
We should pair up with iLead actually and CARE and see if we can get some synergy going, because honestly, the two groups have core foundational beliefs that are really aligned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a commercial break. Lisa, when we come back, can you talk to us more about the upcoming conference that you guys are going to be hosting? Fantastic. We can't wait to hear more about that. This is Sara McDaniels together with Renee Marshall filling in for our regular host, Matt Watson. You are listening to SCVI and I Lead Schools, Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.
Youth workshops return to the Canyon Theater Guild. Join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting September 7th for 10 weeks of teamwork and fun while creating theater magic. Our day class from 12:30 to 3:30 will create the fun pixelated world of video games with Press Start, while our after-school class from 4 to 6 embarks on a swashbuckling adventure with space pirates. Class size is limited, so register today at 661-799-2702 or visit canyontheater.org.
KHTS strives to give the Santa Clarita Valley all the information they need. And when our computers aren't working the way they should, we call Resurgence your true source for IT. Resurgence provides outstanding customer service while also providing the highest technical ability. They strive to do what's best to improve and protect your business. For more information on Resurgence, call 349-4114 or visit resurgenceit.com.
Summer is here. Try the new Charlie Ice Cold Drink, named after social media megastar dancer Charlie D'Amelio. Charlie's go-to coffee order is a Dunkin Cold Brew with whole milk and 3 pumps of caramel swirl. It's officially on Dunkin's menu nationwide as the Charlie. You'll love it. Dunkin also has new all-day sandwiches and new donut varieties. Order ahead with the Dunkin app and accumulate points. Located on Bouquet Canyon in the Lowe's Shopping Center and on Sierra Highway in Canyon Country, both with curbside pickup, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Postmates. Or use the drive-thru at Sierra Highway. Santa Clarita runs on Dunkin.
No words can describe the power of belonging to a group of close friends or being part of a family. Insight Treatment Center was founded more than 20 years ago to give teenagers a community of friends and family as they overcome issues like depression, anxiety, and trauma. The new Santa Clarita location is a COVID-secure environment where distance and good airflow are a priority. As a leader in providing intensive outpatient treatment to teenagers, Insight Treatment Center in Santa Clarita is here to help. Call 888-295-9995 or go online to insighttreatment.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is SCVI and iLeads, Eye on the Valley. This is Renee Marshall together with Sara McDaniels, and Lisa Wilson's here with us today. Lisa, could you tell us a little bit more about the Take Heart Conference and 0 to 3 as an organization?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much, Renee, for this opportunity to share. So first off, if you want to know more about 0 to 3, you can visit our website, 023.org, all spelled out. And this year, the conference is looking at taking strength, from this community and be inspired by one another. So the conference is really just about coming together and thought partnership and learning just from one another, taking chances and being that brave learner in a virtual space. I know it's kind of hard for people at times, but we want people to come and still be able to share and even be in different pairs and breakout sessions as well. Taking action and becoming an advocate. One thing that, 0 to 3 is really committed to is that advocacy piece and, taking care of ourselves as well. So this conference is also not just about taking care of others, but taking care of ourselves so we can take care of others.
I love that.
So I feel like So 0 to 3, I joined the organization last year, and it's an organization, Renee, we used to work together at College of Canyons.
That's
you
right.
hired me to be an advocate there.
Back in the day, right, Lisa?
Yep. I definitely loved and appreciated all your support and help, and I consider you one of my mentors, for being really a teacher devoted to students and being able to individualize their education so they can really reach their potential. But one thing that 0 to 3, and I've always shared with my students ever since my College of the Canyon days, is their website, because they have really great offerings. Some are, at no cost, and some do require membership. But there's some areas that we really focus on, early development and well-being. We focus on early learning. We focus on parenting. So there's a really great resources on our website for parents. And then policy and advocacy. So this is something that I'm just so passionate about, and why I feel like I joined 0 to 3 is because it speaks to my calling in life, and why I started the collective is really being able to take that advocacy and move it into policy so we can see change over, not just over time, but a mandate change, when it gets to that policy piece. So 0 to 3 is committed to that. Our executive director, Matthew, is just wonderful. He's, been leading the organization for many years. And so being able to join the team and just continue to work on what we believe to be the most important piece is really infants and toddlers having that healthy start in life is what's going to impact our world overall. So to learn more, 0to3.org. Take Heart Conference.
I love it.
Registration is open. Yep.
One of the things, too, and this might sound cheesy, but I'm going to say it, is the 0 to 3 people are nice. Like, they're fun. Having that opportunity to provide a workshop this past spring, we actually had something that was such a perfect example of humanizing a space. During during that time that we came together, it was a 4-hour session, and one of the things I talked about was having like a mantra or like a theme song or something like that, and how sometimes if you're in a situation where you're going to be uncomfortable, if you play your theme song ahead of time, it boosts your kind of confidence and whatnot. So within this session, everybody was live. We were together for 4 hours, and I said, well, put your theme song in the chat. And so all of a sudden you start seeing these theme songs, and everybody's like making comments about each other's theme songs. And then all of a sudden somebody goes, here's our Spotify playlist.
I love that.
And so then our 4-hour session ended. Every time we went to a break, we went straight to the playlist that was playing the songs that we said in that moment were our theme songs that boost our confidence in times of low confidence. And it was such this cool, like, collaborative, like if I could leave with anything, I mean, you always want, like, other take-home messages by all means, but just that collective moment of being together. It was so tangible. And it was like we left the 4-hour session. You're usually tired, right? After, or you're processing so much. We left and we were like dancing and laughing. And it was just the culture of 0 to 3 was so impressive, because the people who are leading the organization, they are agents of change who are there to do the work. It's not about just talk. These are people who are walking the talk on the daily. And I respect that.
Oh, good. I can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Renee. I have to say, Renee just delivered such a wonderful professional learning offering for our trainers at, 0 to 3 that that 4 hours felt like an hour. People literally said, this has been 4 hours. It was just so dynamic. It was enriching, engaging, and the most amazing part of it is we felt like human beings in a virtual space. We felt like we were face-to-face, and that is so difficult to accomplish. But Renee made it seamless. So thank you so much for bringing that up, because that was a great opportunity for everyone to take part in.
Well, and we get to do it again, Lisa. That's the coolest thing. Just a few more weeks, and we're going to have 2 different sessions at the 0 to 3 Take Heart Conference. And one thing I was sharing with Lisa with Sarah, is I said, I can't believe we even get to do live Q&A.
Oh, that's going to be wonderful. Yeah, I love live Q&A. I love when people can just ask a question and we're right there on the spot and we're just dialed in and engaged with them, and nothing is performative. We're just sharing our hearts. So I'm really looking forward to the live Q&A too.
Talk about humanizing and talk about taking heart right there, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So who are some of the other speakers that you have at this conference?
Oh my gosh, Lisa, do you want to share? Because they have some stellar people, and everybody's listed on the website. But Lisa, how about some of your favorites?
Some of my favorite. Well, we have Maria Hinojo, who's the Emmy Award-winning journalist, who's going to be our keynote plenary. So you definitely want to tune in for that. Really, our plenary session panelists are going to be incredible. Dr. Lee Johnson III, he's a senior policy analyst. We actually have he's actually doing a webinar coming up. You've got to check out our website on 0to3.org, because Dr. Lee Johnson III is having a webinar, and he has a senator that he's going to be talking to about when it comes to infant mortality, and that's going to be really great. So if you can participate in that. Then we have Dr. Marva Lewis, who's coming to us from the Tulane University School of Social Work. So she's going to be there. And then Dolores Sevilla Bigfoot, Dr. Dolores Sevilla Bigfoot from the University of Oklahoma Health and Sciences Center. And then, of course, we have Dr. Ann Matson, who's at the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, the Regents Professor of Child Development. So we've got a really jam-packed group of dynamic people, and that's just the plenary. You've got to go on our website and see who the other session, presenters will be. And we hope that you can join us.
I love, too, that it's a mix of professionals. So you've got your medical professionals, you've got your child development professionals, you've got your practitioners. It's a space where everybody comes together, but it's not just one group. Which goes along to the whole idea of equity and, diversification and what we're really working on. So it would be ironic if it was an exclusive conference where you weren't allowed to invite a lot of people. So I think it's great that 0 to 3 is walking the talk from the moment we enter the space by having just a variety of leaders who are going to be facilitating this experience later this month.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the thing is, too, Renee, I have to say, when it comes to 0 to 3, our collective action is on point. We recognize that everybody has to be a part of this equity work for there to be, a sustainable change. And so, yes, we need all people from all sectors to come together on behalf of young children and families. So that advocacy piece runs deep in our organization, and that collective action runs deep as well.
I want a T-shirt that says "Our collective action is on point."
Okay.
Can we make a coalition for anti-racist education care shirt that says that, please?
Okay, I'm going to see what I can do. That's a great idea. Good T-shirt.
Hey, we might as well keep our messaging throughout, right? We can keep it on our clothes if we want to, if we're going to spread it far.
Right.
It's a great way to promote something.
Yeah, but we're so excited for the conference, Lisa, and we appreciate you being here so much. I know the shows we're getting very close on time right now, right? But Lisa, you are a treasure, and thank you so much for being a collaborator and a friend, and for being online with us today and on the radio on KHTS. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And we'll post all the links that you let us know about in the comments on the Facebook Live. So thank you so much. All righty. So we're at the end of our day. We made it through our 2 hours. Patty, I think Renee and I did pretty good as guest hosts.
I'd give you both an A+.
Thank you.
I think Matt's got competition.
Okay. I hope you heard that, Matt.
I think, unfortunately, he's working. He's not even listening.
Totally.
Oh, well. I want to thank so much Renee Marshall for being here today, making today's show one that we can be proud of. Also want to thank our guest, Dr. Angie Nastovka, and Lisa Wilson, and Big T for being here, Patty, for all your amazing work that you do behind that board. Join us next week and every week on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Our regular host, Matt Watson, will return. This is SCVI, and I Lead Schools, Eye on the Valley, your hometown station, KHTS.